I've been an investor for about 10 years and I've been trading options for 4. I learned how to invest using dollar cost averaging from my brother. Um, does anyone here have someone in their family who has taught them how to invest or how to trade? And I guess you guys can tell me, drop a 1 in the chat if you do have somebody in your family who trades or, who has taught you something, um, like investing or trading. And then drop a 2 in the chat if you have no one in your family or a friend who has taught you anything about trading. And you guys can let me know. You guys can be my eyes. Let me know if we're getting some 1s, some 2s.
Lots of 2s.
Lots of 2s. Okay. All right. Do we have some 1s? Okay. So lots of 2s is exciting because that means there's no one in your family who has taught you about trading. So congratulations. You are now that person in your family. You are now that person that is going to teach people in your family, people who you are close to, a way to make extra money and to create some wealth for themselves. So you should be very proud of yourself. This is not something small that you're learning. This is big. And I just want to let you know, if after we go through the presentation, if you don't understand anything, feel free to ask me. You belong here, even if you don't fully understand. You will understand. So I'm going to proceed, but does everybody understand that you belong here? You will understand this, and what you're doing is very big. Y'all feel that? Drop a 1 if y'all feel that. Hopefully there's some 1s in there. Okay.
Lots of them.
Okay, good. All right, so dollar cost averaging. First of all, does anybody know? Let's just go back a bit. Does anybody know what dollar cost averaging is? If you know what it is, drop a 2. And if you don't know what it is, drop a 1. What's it looking like? People know what it is or not?
Half and half.
Half and half. Okay, cool. I like that. All right, cool. So, by definition, dollar cost averaging is an investment strategy where you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of marketing conditions. And this is a long term trading strategy. So, what does that mean? I'm going to give you an example. You purchase $20 of Tesla every 2 weeks. That's it. It's a very simple strategy. You're purchasing the same amount of the same stock at the same interval. And this can be a fraction. You don't have to purchase an entire stock. Did you guys know that you can purchase a fraction of a stock? You don't have to purchase the entire thing. That's something that, at one point I didn't know. And at one point it actually wasn't possible. So this actually, allows you to buy small portions of a stock. Maybe you don't have, I don't know, $500 to drop on one stock or $200. You can buy whatever amount is good for you. So the goal of dollar cost averaging, it is to reduce the impact of volatility on your investments and potentially lower the average cost per share over time. So we all know that stocks go up and stocks go down, right? When you do dollar cost averaging, you're purchasing at many points. So it's not like you're dropping, let's say a person drops $1,000 onto a stock today. That $1,000 is gonna take that upward and downward ride with that stock, right? You're gonna see your portfolio going up and down, up and down, up and down. When you're doing dollar cost averaging, it's a much smoother line upwards. So the long-term perspective, over time, the ups and downs of the market tend to smooth out and you benefit from the overall upward trend of the market. So far, are you guys with me? Are you guys understanding everything? Key Jazz, let me know how the chat is feeling.
They getting it.
They getting it? Good. Okay. This is a simple strategy, like things don't have to be like super complicated for them to work for us. Sometimes simple is good. All right, so here are some of the benefits of doing dollar cost averaging. It eliminates the need to time the market, reducing the risk of investing a large sum at market peak. So, what's good about dollar cost averaging is that you don't have to consistently look at a chart, you know? You don't have to worry about whether the stock is up or down, the stock, ETF, or bond, whether it's up or down. You don't have to worry because you're going to purchase it regardless. If it's at the high, it doesn't matter. You're always going to purchase because this is, again, a long-term strategy. So really the work is done in picking the actual stock. It also encourages consistent investing habits regardless of market conditions, as I just mentioned. It's psychological comforts. Helps investors feel more comfortable during market downturns as they continue to invest at lower prices. So the market is, the market is down, right? Some people might look in their portfolio and say, oh man, my money is down too. But when you're doing dollar cost averaging, you get excited. You're like, yo, you know what? It's dumping. That's wonderful. I know that I've already set it to purchase some of this stock on Friday, so I'm getting it for the low. I got a little sale. I'm excited because as soon as it goes up, I know that I'm making more money. Does everybody understand that so far? Is that making sense? I hope so. Okay. It's also very low maintenance. So most of the work is picking the stock, ETF, bonds you want to invest in and deciding how much and how often. That right there, that's the strategy. You do the work is done when you just pick out what stock, ETF, and bond you want. And I'll show you guys what to look for when picking them. And then slowly accumulate stock. Maybe, you have a goal of, I don't know, maybe owning 100 shares of Apple, let's say. And right now you don't have the money to buy 100 shares of Apple. Or you can just buy them little by little. And after a couple years, you'll have that, or, a couple months, depending on how much you're investing, you're going to reach that goal. It allows you to take those baby steps. So this is more of a visual representation of what dollar cost averaging is. This is a chart, and this looks different from the charts that we usually look at, right? When we're trading options. This is the yearly chart, right? And here I'm just, I just made a visual representation of you purchasing at a consistent time. So you're purchasing down here, up here, down here. It doesn't matter. You're always purchasing it. And what happens is you're averaging in. So if you were to drop, maybe this stock right around this point, you thought, you know what, this stock it keeps going up and up and up. I'm going to drop a bag right here. I'm going to drop $1,000 right here. Well, what happens after? It goes down, your $1,000 go down, goes back up and goes back down, right? But if you're doing dollar cost averaging, you probably had the same thought. You know what? I'm going to get in right here. And you get in right here, but you don't drop a bag. You drop maybe $10, $20, right? And then you drop $20 again, and $20 again, and $20 again. And eventually you've basically made the price that you bought it at a lot less every time you're going, purchasing it for the low. And then when it comes back up, you make a higher profit. How are we feeling so far? Is everybody understanding? Drop a 1 if everybody is on the same page. If you guys have any questions so far. No questions?
All ones, no questions.
Okay. Oh, and one more thing to mention. With dollar cost averaging, even though you're setting the price that you're purchasing at a consistent interval, maybe you are looking at the chart and you see right here is a low, right? You can identify the lows. You can go in and purchase more if you like. If if you're like, okay, hey, I know this is definitely like a low, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a little extra. You can do that as well. All right, so this is how you can use dollar cost averaging. So step 1, you have to open up a brokerage account. The one that I like to use is Stash. I like it because it's very user friendly. It gives the ETFs and bonds these like nice little nicknames that makes it, makes the information very digestible. Robinhood, you can do it on Robinhood as well. The reason I don't use it on Robinhood is because I actually trade on I trade options on Robinhood. Yes, I know, don't judge me. But I like to keep things separate. And I also just I like to know that one is one thing and this is another. I like the separation. But Robinhood also makes it easy, and it also categorizes the different like ETFs and stocks. And then M1 Finance is another one. I used that for a short period of time because once upon a time I had Stash. I took all my money out of Stash because I wanted to unlimited day trade in Robinhood. So I took out 25K and put it here, and I closed this account. They wouldn't let me open it until recently. And then I opened the M1 account. It's similar, but I find it to be the user experience to not be the same. However, you can pick your poison, pick whichever one, you prefer. They're all good. Step 2 is choosing an investment, right? This is why I like Stash. So they basically give you these like different categories. I'm actually gonna go on Stash right now and show you guys. So when you go on Stash, it gives you these different categories, right? Let's see, this one is building blocks. It'll give you a couple different suggestions. So this one is called All That Glitters, right? And what it is a ETF. You can go down here. Oh, let's see. Top holdings. Yeah, this is gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. So it gives you different suggestions, which I like. Let me show you guys another one. Let's see. Special industries. This one is my favorite. American Innovators, right? But this is an ETF, and the symbol is VGT. It's a Vanguard. When you go down here, right, this tells you the symbol. So if you wanted to go chart it, you can look right here and you can pull up a chart. This tells you how much it is, the share price, the change today, some more information, the dividend. What I like to do is I like to go right here where it says top fund holdings. What's also really cool about Stash is that they'll give you explanations for everything. If you have a question about it, just go hover right over and they'll explain everything. But right here, it'll show me the top holdings: Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Broadcom, and AMD, which I live. So right here, again, a different chart from what we're used to looking at, right? This doesn't have any candlesticks. I don't need the candlesticks. I need a visual representation of is this going upward, right? So I like to look at the yearly, the 5-year, and the 10-year. This is how I make my decisions on whether I'm going to do dollar cost averaging in this company. And you, like when you look at it on the yearly basis, is this going up or down? What do you guys think? Are we saying any ups, any downs? Key or Jazz, be my eyes on the chat.
Bullish.
Bullish, right? So it's going up. So this is something that I like to invest in. And right here it tells us that over the last year, right? In this year, it went up 36%. So that's a great ETF for me to invest in.
There's a question in the
Yep.
chat asking, how do you manage not selling when it goes up?
When it goes up? Oh, okay. That's such a good question. I'm so glad you asked that. So when I do dollar cost averaging, the money that I'm putting into it, in my mind, I just tell myself that I've already spent it. So if you went out to eat and you had a great time and you spent $100 and you want that $100 back, you're not gonna get it, right? It's gone. You spent it already. And that's how I look at dollar cost averaging. I look at it as the money that I put in. Now you can sell it if you want to, like they're not holding your money hostage. But it will take a couple days to do it. So you have to sell it. Um, you have to put in the order. I feel like it takes like 2 or 3 days for you to get your money. And that's enough of it holds me back from trying to take profit. It's like, well, if I take profit, it's gonna take too long to get here anyways. Unless I really need it, which I have, and I have done it before. But you kind of just get into the mind state of this money, I've already spent it. And that's why you have to make sure that it's an amount that you're comfortable with. Does that answer your question?
That was potent. That asked, and she said yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's see. But yeah, I really just like the way that this is like, to me, this is like very digestible information. Let's see, commodities. We saw these already. Uh, let's see, technology and innovation. We have different. See, so this is a stock, and it's up 74% in the year. Seems fairly new. Um, this right here, like I'll be worried, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not too sure, but I'll do more. I'll do more digging on this. But the 5 year, I'm not crazy about this like huge dip right here, even though we know what that was. Let's see, Internet Titans. They did the same thing. So these are just things in the market that happen, and it's probably just actually a great opportunity because this will get back to that 252, and it's at 205. So this is the part where you pick out your stocks and you do some research. You say, do I like this? Do I not like this? What industries am I interested in? Like, what is this? What is big money? Oh, big money. Okay, these are banks. This is VFH. Okay. So I'll look at this and say, you know what? I believe in these companies. Like, I know these companies are going to do good in the long run. Yeah, I would put my money in this. And then right here, as you can see, it's super easy to use. You can just pick how much you want. You can change the amount, and then you can press invest. And then it's going to ask you how often you want to do it. So I'm going to go back to the slides. So do you guys think that Stash is like, was that easy for you guys to like, does it look like an easy site to use? It's also an application. I mostly use it on my phone.
They said yes. Can you use Stash to set up accounts for your kids, or what app would you suggest for something like that?
I believe you can. I believe they do have an I'm not like 100% sure, but I think I've seen that they have an option for opening an account, like a custodial account, I think it's what it's called. Let's see.
Excuse me. Um,
Yeah.
okay.
Was there another question?
Yeah. So you can just put an X amount of money in any stock instead of buying the entire share?
Yes. So, yes. So, for example, let's see. Let's go back to the one that I like, which is American Innovators. American Innovators, which is an ETF, is $513. Guess what? I don't have $513 to purchase this right now and to just sit on it. But you can buy $20 worth of it, $25, $100 worth of it every week if you wanted to. And then in 5 weeks, you'd have a complete share, you know? Does that answer your question? This is the good thing about dollar cost averaging. This is accessible for everyone. Like whether you have, $1,000 a month to invest or whether you have $20 a month to invest. You can literally do $5 a week. And even though that may not sound like a lot, it will start to add up. And, we're constantly working on, you want to compound. And also you want to build up how you feel about money, right? Like if it's hard for you to invest $100 right now, start at 5. And when you look at your account and it's reached 100, you're gonna feel good about yourself. You're gonna be like, damn, look what I did. And it's not gonna stop at 100. It's gonna keep going, right? So yes, you can buy portions of stock. I hope that answers your question.
You said it did. And someone asked, can you borrow against your holdings in stash?
I don't know the answer to that, and I don't believe so. I don't believe so, but I don't know the answer. I can definitely do some research and get back to you on that, but I'm not too sure about that. It would be very interesting to know. Was there any more questions?
That was the last question.
Okay. So this is still part of step 2, which I kind of went over already, just looking at the charts and seeing, like I mentioned, looking at the 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year chart. You're not looking at the 15 minutes to make a decision, whether you should get in or not. This is very much a long-term strategy. And then step 3 is set a schedule. How often do you want to invest? What works for you? I like to do it as often as I get paid. So for my job, I get paid every 2 weeks. So I have it set for every 2 weeks. If I got paid every week, I would do it every week. It all depends on what works for you, which is, again, this is the good thing, is customizable to your situation. You can even do it every month. Maybe you're just like, you know what? When I pay my rent, I want to buy some stocks and that's it. And I just don't want to think about it for the rest. And that's the thing. You don't even have to think about it. Once you set everything on auto invest, you're not really thinking about it. Life will continue and you will just be investing. I do want to share a small story with you guys while we're here. But yeah, y'all down for some story time? Drop a 1 if y'all down for some story time. Are they down for story time?
They're down for story time.
So we all know, right? 2020, the world was like crumbling, right? Well, your girl was going through a breakup. So I was definitely crumbling, right? I was going through a breakup. March of 2020, my mom got COVID and I was scared. Like, people were dying. Like, I was so scared. I was so stressed out. I was so anxious. I was like, not myself. And I was doing dollar cost averaging. And it was just happening in the background. Like, it's not like I went on the computer and I was like, oh, let me check my stocks. Let me do this. No, it was just happening while I was melting like a stick of butter because the world was like becoming like crazy. But it just kept, it was just doing it in the background. And then when I, thank God my mom is good, I healed, I'm happy. And then I, needed the money, or like I went and looked at my account and I'm like, oh, well, it kept doing the investment for me in a time where I had no space in my brain to do any type of investing at that part of 2020. So, that's another reason why I like dollar cost averaging. Story time over. So drop in the chat, guys. What do you think is like a reasonable time for you to invest? Like, do you think you can do it on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, bi-weekly? Which one is like preferable? I would be interested in knowing.
I said, thank you for sharing. And they're typing weekly, bi-weekly.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people probably want to line it up with, as often as they get paid. Okay, the 4th step is to decide how much money do you feel comfortable investing, right? So a question to ask yourself is, how much money are you okay with not having access to for 1 year? You do have access to it, but you have to, right? Like when we trade, when we become investors, right, we have to also practice our discipline, right? You're doing this strategy. It's a long-term strategy. You know that you're not going to touch this for a year. You're not going to touch it for 2 years, 5 years. This could be your 10-year plan. So you have to ask yourself, how much is that? Whatever that amount is, which you're okay with not seeing, that's the amount. That's the amount for you. And whatever it is, I don't want anybody to think that like it's too little and that it's not going to make a difference, because it is. You're going to be putting this money in there and it's going to be growing. As you're adding this money, it's growing for you. So I want you to, think of your money as seeds. You're planting seeds throughout the year and they're going to grow, they're going to bloom. You're going to get your flowers. And then you just set it up. You set up your auto invest. You just connect your bank and it'll automatically take it out of your bank account at the time frame that you put it. And that's it. You pick out your stocks. You set the time frame, how often, and then you put the amount, and that's it. You just kick back and you watch it grow.
Someone asked, sorry, isn't it best to not touch it for a year because of taxes?
Well, that's another reason too, because when you hold it for over a year and then you sell it, the taxes are less. However, remember, you are purchasing throughout the year. So that first stock that you purchased, if you go a year, you wait a whole year, if you sell the whole position, remember there was positions that you purchased maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So you want to be mindful of that as well. But yes, let's say that you hold this for 5 years, you're definitely saving a lot of money on taxes, because the tax is higher if you trade within the year rather than waiting a year after you trade. So to all my investors, do you guys have any questions?
And if anyone, would want to come off mute,
Yeah.
you can definitely raise your hand. I'm weak.
So yeah, you guys can come up with if you have any questions or you have anything you want to say.
That was great. I'm glad.
Somebody asked about dividends. Yes, you will get paid dividends. So if whatever stock, ETF, or bond you have pays a dividend, you will be paid for that dividend. And they do something called drip, where they the dividends, they just put it right back in, so they reinvest it. Let me look at the chat. Yeah, Potent said plant your seeds. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're just planting seeds for the future and you'll watch them grow. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I don't know if anybody else has any questions, but I just want to say I appreciate the information because I didn't know too much about Stash, but I have been looking for something where I can buy partial shares. So that's perfect because to me, I don't know, like I think you mentioned it as well. It could be a little intimidating putting all of the amount up at once. But if you just put like $5 here one day, you just feel like putting something in $10, 20. That's like spending money regularly. So you
Exactly.
can make it like that. So that makes a lot of sense in my life.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was helpful. I'm glad it resonated. I
Mhm.
want you guys to do something for me. This is, can you guys do me a favor? Drop a one if you could do me a favor. Damn, nobody want to do me a favor? Okay. Okay, cool. Leverage partial shares to help you build. Yep. So I want you to go into your calendar. Okay, Poen. She said, I'm here for you, girl. I want you to go into your calendar and I want you to go to a year from today. And I want you to put a note, a calendar event, and just say, a year ago today, I took a class on dollar cost averaging. And I want you to reflect. When that time comes, I want you to reflect on today and reflect and see how your life has changed or how your portfolio has changed or what you've learned, because it's very important to always be able to look back and say, yo, you know what, at one point I had no idea what this was, and now it's something that I've taught other people to do, and that's benefited me in many ways. So I really hope that in a year from now, because this is a long-term strategy, so I really hope that in a year from now, you think of this moment, you're like, yo, you know what? I'm the shit for taking this class and like taking that step for myself. And everybody who's here, we have so many people here, like really, you should be proud of yourself for even, looking to make these changes, looking to educate yourself. No information is too small. This is life-changing information, and I really hope that you're proud of yourself and that you know that you deserve like a healthy, wealthy life. That's all I gotta say. So y'all all doing me this favor, right? Does anybody have any other questions? Oh, thank you, Potent. I appreciate you. I really hope it makes a difference. Thank you, Cash. Appreciate it. Dope. Gary. Thanks, son. Okay, Tab you. Yes, it is. And you know what? Davyu, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, just said, this is encouraging to help save. The reason I started doing it, well, my brother taught me about it, but I did it as it was my savings. That's where all my savings was. I put it in dollar cost averaging because I was looking at banks. I used to do CDs. I used to put my money in a CD, which locks up your money for a period of time. And it was only giving me like, I don't know, like less than a percentage, super small percentage. But when you do dollar cost averaging, you're gonna see your money increase. You know, I think SPY goes up, what is it, like 8% a year or something like that. So you're gonna see your money grow. Like these ETFs, it's usually safer to go with ETFs. You could do single stocks as well, but this is gonna be a great way to, a great place to put your savings as well. I do prefer it over high yield savings. However, I will say I am going to open up a high yield savings as well. I am not the type of person to say don't do this at all. No, you should have a little bit of everything, right? Why not? Have your high yield savings for give it one purpose and then do your dollar cost averaging for a different purpose. That's okay. You still in the mix, and then do your options trading. That's another thing. I know you guys got money. Everybody in here got money. We all options traders. We all here and we're, learning and growing. The money that you make, we were talking about this today. The money that you make in the market, take a little bit and put it into dollar cost averaging. That way you get to save it and you get to keep it, and then you make it grow. So, yeah. Do you guys feel like you learned something new today? Nah, Charm, you got this. You got this. You're gonna get there. You're definitely gonna get there. Awesome. Oh, that makes me happy, guys. Oh, that makes me really happy. You're welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. This is the first time I've ever done this. I was very nervous, so thank you guys. You were great and kind to me and easy to understand. Thank you, Poen. Do you ever sell? That's a great question. I do sell. Like maybe you could set a goal. Maybe there's something that you want to purchase in 5 years and you want to start saving towards it. You can purchase. And maybe if times get hard and you're like, oh man, like I need a portion of this money, you can sell it. But this is this is something that's more long term. Thank you, Charm. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. If anybody has any questions, you guys can at me at the chat in the chat. Um, I love helping people, so feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, thank you. Give it up for Steph. It was perfect. She did great.
Thank you, Steph. Yeah, everyone definitely put tens in the chat, please. Let her know how you did.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Well, I can't wait to teach you guys more things. So if you have anything that you want to learn, if I know it, I'll teach it.